After the traumatic removal of the Zola consciousness from his body last issue, Cap is in bad shape. Though he knows he doesn't have much left in him, he can't leave Ian in Zola's hands. And so Cap treks onwards looking for a way to breach Zola's fortress. Meanwhile, Jet and Ian deal with the psychological effects of the last battle. Jet cannot reconcile Captain America's act of mercy with her father's teachings and prays for forgiveness regarding her newfound fascination with Cap. Ian, on the other hand, simply will not accept Zola as his true father. The memory of Zola's forces slaughtering the Frogs tribe is still fresh in his mind, and no matter what Zola or even Jet say, he is unwilling to accept his place in Zola's world. As a result, Zola straps Ian into a mind-washing device which misleadingly highlights Captain America's history of leading young men astray. Cap, meanwhile, finds his way into the fortress through a garbage chute. There, he encounters a showering Jet, who concludes Cap must have had an ulterior motive for his mercy. Jet refuses to take Cap to Ian's location, ignoring his threats. But a desperate Cap doesn't seem to be bluffing. Nonetheless, he might be too late. Zola's already in Ian's head.
So it looks like Zola finally has his hooks in Ian and is going to turn him against Steve. But I think this series is all about Steve's relationship with his son. And I think hopefully that's strong enough to overcome anything Zola does.
One of the reasons why Steve doesn't abandon him now is because I don't want to be like my father and abandon my kid.
And there's the recurring theme of you always stand up against depression.
I think Ian is going to be able to fight this reprogramming. I think
Steve raised him right.
Yeah. Though in the near future, I think Ian is going to be set against his father. And as we've seen in Jet, she really is very powerful. Like the omnisense and all the stuff that she has. And since Steve's sort of weakened, in a fight, I think Ian has a good chance of actually...
Plus, he knows all of Steve's moves.
Yeah.
So that will help quite a bit. But jumping over to Jet, did she die in this issue? That was kind of the impression I got. What do you think?
I don't think so, because I think going back to Ian, I think one of the things that's going to help him remember is if when he defeats Captain America, like maybe he'll show mercy, and that's the thing he learned from Captain America, not Zola. And in the same sense, I don't think Captain America did anything to her, just because...
If he killed Jet, it would negate that whole act of mercy.
Yeah, and I think that's the wrong message he wants to send to his kid, even though he is sort of desperate right now. And at the heart of this whole struggle over the kids is just simply ideological differences between Zola and Captain America.
Yeah, Zola seems to be all about the strong survive and the weak fall, whereas Captain America is all about you got to protect the weak so they can rise up and join the strong.
Zola is also kind of impacted by his past. He's really just a man of science, and he does care about stuff like family. Even in this issue, he says that the reason why I'm doing all this is so my kids can have the world, which is...
So he does care for them.
Yeah, it's just, he goes about the wrong way. Cool thing is that Zola has created this entire world sort of just back up his ideology. Like,
yeah, Dimension Z is just his way to prove that he's right.
He has created these minions that are innately just inferior to his children and him himself. They're dumber, they simply follow orders, and there's just like a graveyard of mutates. He just does away with them because they're inferior inherently.
Yeah, it's like Dimension Z is all about proving that his system, his society, would work in reality.
I think it's pretty cool where he's able to create a place where he is a god.
This is Rick Remender's work, and we've seen him in Uncanny X-Force and Secret Avengers, and there's been somewhat similar storylines where the heroes are motivated to save someone they care deeply about from evil. For example, in Uncanny X-Force, it was Betsy and Logan trying to save Warren from turning into Archangel, but they failed, and I felt like that's been a recurring theme in Remender's work. Secret Avengers, they couldn't save Hank Pym. Even later in Uncanny X-Force, Wolverine is forced to kill his own son Daken, so it's always so tragic.
That's one thing I've actually liked about Rick Remender's work. It's not always a triumphant ending. It has some bittersweet moment to it.
Right.
Because in comics, everyone always knows the hero's got to win, but they shouldn't win outright all the time.
Yeah, Remender always there's always a cost for their victory.
And so, you think the cost for Steve's victory in this series might be his son?
I think it's a good chance that Ian is going to pay the ultimate price. I really hope not, but if this is like any of Remender's other work, I fear for his future.
So as a grade for Captain America number 6, what would you give it?
I'm going to give this issue a 4 out of 5. I really like the way Remender's writing Captain America. He really shows that Captain America always does the right thing. Steve has the choice to flee and return to Earth, or he can go save his son, and he chooses his son, which is the right thing to do.
I give this issue a 4.5 out of 5. I'm actually a pretty big fan of this series so far. I've always liked Romita's art, and the new sci-fi take on Captain America is actually making me interested in the hero. I haven't been a big fan of him before.
So thanks for watching P3 Comics review of Captain America number 6. Before we go, though, we got a question for you guys.
I mentioned that this is a more sci-fi take on Captain America, but how would you guys rate this iteration versus all the previous ones?
Leave your answer below in the comments, and please tell your friends about this show.